Money is actually units of choice. The more units that you have, the more choice that you have.
I went through a stage of gambling. I'm sending out to the universe that I don't care about money, I'm just giving it to these machines. And obviously, I'm not going to get back in return because the universe sees me as giving it away.
I can go to the supermarket, I can grab what I want, and I don't need to look at a price. That's a flex for me. That's changing the narrative of my money mindset. Welcome to Krystal Rowe Impact, a space dedicated to empowering you to be the change that your bloodline has been waiting for. Join me and together, let's inspire change. Kia ora and welcome to the Krystal Rowe Impact Podcast. And today I have my amazing husband TJ joining me as we talk about overcoming financial trauma, reprogramming our money program. So my love, building a legacy of wealth is one of our important goals in life. How does that sit with you from how you used to be to having this new money program and mindset and more of a entrepreneurial vision?
I think, yeah, it is exciting. It is exciting. Like coming from a background of just living from week to week, hearing the words like from my parents, like, oh, we don't have enough money for this or that, or we're broke or stuff like that. That sort of led to the mindset of we don't need money to be happy, and which is true. Like I 100% believe that to this day. But having that security to be able to fuel your happiness is, I feel, is great. What I mean is, if spending time with your children is your happiness, then imagine being able to have your own business to be able to step away from, to be able to spend more time with your children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think too when, you say things like money doesn't make you happy, like that's true, but money also creates times that do make you happy. You said if spending time with your children makes you happy, well, the bills still need to be paid. And, the car needs petrol and food needs to be purchased. So I think like the whole retraining the money program and understanding that money is actually units of choice. So the more units that you have, the more choice that you have. It's not necessarily about creating X amount of zeros in your bank account. It's more about having the amount of choice and the opportunity. And I believe that we've got to a point now where we are slowly overcoming, identifying those limiting beliefs around money. One thing that we don't say in our house or to each other is that I'm broke.
We can't afford that. Our kids will come to us and say, "Oh, Dad, like, show us this note," and like in our minds we're like, "Oh God, what next?" Because we've got 8 of them. 8 of them come in with, "Oh, I want to play this sport. Like it's going to be $60." And my first thought is, we can't afford it. But I'm not going to tell that child that we can't afford it because that's going to
We don't want
create
them hearing
limiting
those
beliefs
things
within them. So
Yeah.
we either say yes, that's no problem, or we'll come up with some other reason why we can't. Like, we've got the money, son, but we're actually going away. We're doing this or that.
I think a lot of times too, I'm not quick to say yes or no. I'm put that on my desk and I'll look at it later. I'm very mindful about how we respond because what our kids hear, like you said, you grew up with like, oh, how are we going to pay this bill, or I can't afford that, or whatever the words were. I remember, like Mum had a budget. She was very, very good at budgeting and very precise on what mattered to her. We had our own home and we had our own rooms that were the curtains matched the duvet. And Mum prided herself in her home. So that's where she spent her money. And that was very important, but I knew that was also a struggle. Growing up, I knew what a lay-by was. Like, we weren't out here paying for things straight up. Like, it was allocating money here, there, and which is great when you have to do that. But I think where we're at now in trying to overcome those financial barriers and not let those be our children's reasons why they don't do something.
Yeah.
Why they don't ask for something.
Yeah.
I remember, and I remember a lot of friends not asking to go on camp or play sports is because they already knew the answer, and that's trauma in itself, because then when you grow up, you don't want to ask for things.
Right.
And then once you become an adult, we don't ask for help because the answer is probably going to be no.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And I think it's a really important thing for us now. Sometimes, I'll pull you up sometimes at home and be like, that's a limiting belief, or that's like a bad money program. And you're quick to retract and explain and communicate more clearly to the kids. They understand that we have a business and that we make money to be able to create opportunities for connection and time. And I think that's we're a work in progress as well, obviously. But for me, being aware that there was a financial trauma and a poor money program has given me the opportunity to not let that be me anymore.
Yep.
And it's not like, I don't care about money, but I do look at money as units of choice as opposed to dollar signs. So the more money that I have, I can go to the supermarket, I can grab what I want, and I don't need to look at a price. That's a flex for me. That's changing the narrative of my money mindset. It's me saying, yes, I can be mindful, but it's also having that freedom too to now know I've overridden the fact that I can't afford it. I think that's a major thing for me, and knowing that our kids get to grow up knowing that they can afford something instead of they can't.
Yeah.
That's already the change. That's already shifting the generational wealth before they get to think about what they want to do for a job or a career. They already know that I can achieve. I can go for that job. I can, because the mindset over here of I can't afford or I can't do that has been eliminated. I think that's a really good one.
That's a great one, yeah.
I think too, facing your financial traumas actually allows you to tackle and get rid of them. They're like barriers that step in your way of progress. I remember when I first started the Cuzzies Cafe, I was approached to do a couple of online platforms and deliveries and stuff, but they cost. And back then it was maybe $99, and I was like, no,
Yep.
no, I can't do that. I had marketing people be like, it's $99 a month, and we'll post this for you, we'll do this, and ultimately bring in a lot more money. But I'd say, no, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And there was this point in time, I remember we had the TV screen guy come in, and I remember looking at the thing, it's $5,000 for one screen, and I'm just signed it. I didn't care because I knew that we could put that, say, $99 a month into our budget because I knew that it would grow. And that was the difference between, I think, maybe 2.5 years from when I started to having that extremely poor mindset of not knowing how to pay for it to finding a way.
Yeah.
I think it's important as well to understand that when you overcome your financial trauma, that you're overcoming your limiting beliefs, that you're actually overcoming those barriers that have been put in place that actually aren't necessarily real, and that you have the power as well to actually change the trajectory of how you move, how you actually move, not only yourself and your business, but how the rest of your family moves. like as a collective. Like now, like I said before, the kids know that they can buy something, they can ask for something. Our kids don't hesitate to ask for anything.
No, they ask, all right.
Like they expect, because they have
And
to
I love that
understand.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that they
There's
can
no
ask.
fear anymore with our kids, and by us overcoming that money program and rewiring it and rewriting it to one of abundance.
Just creating a good relationship with money too,
Yeah.
I think, is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though, like, on one of the past episodes we just had, is I went through a stage of gambling. So that's obviously a bad relationship with money. So I'm sending out to the universe that I don't care about money. I'm just giving it to these machines or whatever. And obviously I'm not going to get back in return, because the universe sees me as giving it away.
Yeah.
So if you can give it away in a more healthy environment and with purpose to help others.
Yeah. And that's a really good point, my love, is about when you get these units of choice, what you're actually doing with
it,
them.
yeah.
Like I've noticed, if I reflect back recently, say a year ago, when we've had like a surplus of funds, what we've done with it, as opposed to now how we're actually really reinvesting into it. We've invested a significant amount into creating a Cuzzies franchise.
Yep.
We've invested it into creating an online presence via this podcast.
Yep.
We invest back into ourselves, and that in itself is overcoming that trauma and saying that that's not our way anymore. Like we actually can see that we believe in ourselves. So we've replaced those limiting beliefs with belief, and we're backing it with our finances. So that's a good win.
Yes, love it.
That's a really good win.
So just to wrap it up, guys, if you have a bad relationship with money, just know that you have the power within to change that mindset around money. You've got little ones, you've got kids around you. Just be who you want to be in the future now.
And if you want to change that money program that hasn't served you, make sure you leave a comment, ask a question, and reach out, because we're here to serve you. We're here to help. And make sure that you follow us on all social media platforms, attend one of our live workshops that we have coming up, and also make sure you leave us a 5-star review on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we will see you on the next episode.
Peace out, whānau.